He's done helping me out. It's much appreciated. All of your money that you spent will be recognized. You were there last week?
Yeah.
So it was in the month of June. Therefore, it is part of Q3. So for all my accounts out there, you can nerd out about that
Nice.
one. It's fun. Oh,
Oh dear.
how was Disney though?
Good. Still as good as it's always been.
Any particular ride stand out other than Guardians?
Tiana's is really good.
Really?
Uh, I didn't really like even notice the story because I was so stuck on one of the animatronics was crazy. Like the Lewis one. It's too good.
Which one was Lewis? I have not
The
seen
alligator.
Princess. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have not seen the Princess
It's
on the Frog
wild.
in a long time.
It's a wild one. That's a really good ride. They did really good.
Would you say it's the best ride in Magic Kingdom? Because I feel like that's a very hot topic point.
The best ride in Magic Kingdom? Probably not. Probably Tron.
Wait, Tron's Magic Kingdom? I thought Tron was Epcot. No, no,
No.
no, it's Magic Kingdom.
Guardians is Epcot.
Oh, Tron didn't open
Tron's
until
Magic
after I
Kingdom.
went, so pardon me for being out of the loop on that one a little bit.
It's all good. It's all good.
That's the one where you
You
sit
couldn't
you sit
miss
down on the
pretty
bike, right?
big. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's super good.
I'm assuming that's in
It's insane.
Tomorrowland.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
What did it replace, or did they just add a new building?
Nothing, they just added it.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I mean, I didn't think they'd really have the room, but they just did it anyways. And it fits well. I mean, it looks good thematically. It's definitely a hike, like to get there. Takes a second,
Yeah.
but it's still
Oh,
good.
what dinners did you guys do? I know you had a few in mind, but then you were still open to some. What were the dinner spots that you went to? Which for those that don't know Disney and don't know what we're talking about, the reservations for dinners are a very competitive thing to get.
Yeah. So all my dinners, me and my grandma booked at 6 a.m. and we got for 27 people for all these places.
Holy, you had a
Yeah,
group of 27.
we cooked pretty good on some of them. But we got Napoli, it's a pizza place in Epcot.
Yep,
That was where we started. We did Crystal Palace. That's a good one.
that's a fun one.
We got somehow the Plaza in Magic Kingdom,
Really?
which that
Dang.
place, yeah, only has like a 80 capacity or something or 100, and we got it. I don't really know how, but we got there. That place is pretty good. Um, then in Epcot again, we did Oscar House for breakfast. We love that one. But really, it's because my nieces wanted to see the princesses.
Really?
Yeah. And then in Hollywood, we did Woody's Roundup Barbecue.
That doesn't help.
And in, what was it? Animal Kingdom, we didn't do anything.
Okay.
None of my family really likes Asian cuisine that much. It's really just me. So,
Really? That's sad. Well, I mean,
yeah.
that's a Middle Eastern, or not Middle Eastern, that's a Midwestern thing. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
No,
it is.
you you replace rice with potatoes, and that's pretty much every meal in the Midwest.
Yep. My wife doesn't really care for rice that much. I mean, my family likes, my family, like, enjoys Asian food, but it's my mom's side.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are not that keen on going there that much. And the one like good meal they have, we didn't want to do this time because that day we had to do family photos.
Oh,
So we didn't have enough time
you're
to
one
really
of the
sit
Well,
down.
I guess you have a group of 7, so like family photos is probably like a whole event type
Oh, we
thing.
had 27 people.
Dude,
It
that's
was a lot.
obnoxious.
It
Like,
took a minute, but we did them at a hotel. We didn't do them in the park.
doing the quick math on that, that's 27 people. How many parks did you go to?
We did every park. We did 6 days.
Okay, you did 6 days.
They're vacation club though.
Okay, so we'll discount it's like what, $100? I don't know the full price.
And I got 6 military tickets, which The 6 military tickets I got saved us $2,000.
Okay,
If that tells you where you're about to go with these
we'll
numbers.
say an average of $80 a
Yeah.
ticket. We'll bump it down to $80. That's still like 12 grand on tickets.
Yeah. No,
Jeez.
yeah, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And that $80 a day is pretty kind. What you just did, that's pretty
Well, I
kind.
mean, averaging out the military
I
tickets,
know, I
averaging
know.
out like, did you have any comp tickets at
Vacation
all?
club, annual. Two of them have annual passes
Ah, okay. Yep.
that were there. We had a child, and then, but yeah, it was 12 grandish on tickets. The hotels were something crazy, like it was in the 20s.
I think I'm sitting on 4 comp passes right now, or comp
Oh,
tickets. So
really?
like, yeah, we get our employee things, and then we get 2 comp tickets every 6 months. So I think
Hmm.
I'm sitting on 4 of them right now because when we went last year, we actually went during a blackout period for Magic Kingdom and couldn't get into Magic
Oh,
Kingdom with just like our employee passes, but I had the comp tickets which override that, and then you just link them to your employee ID and you still get
nice.
in anyways. So that's how we got in there. And then we didn't
Good.
pay for the final one of going in because we were able to like we got a like 9 o'clock reservation for the Beauty and the Beast dining hall,
Hmm.
or like the one with Belle and everything else. And we, I was able to check at like 4 o'clock because I thought we might have to like use the final 2 comp tickets that I was sitting on. We didn't have to because reservations opened up for Magic Kingdom after 3 o'clock for employees. I was like, okay,
Oh, nice.
sweet. So we lucked out. I didn't have to use them. We just used our staff badges.
I'd be shocked too if you couldn't just go there and tell them.
No, you're not allowed. Like it is very explicit that like you have to be on or you have to have entry into the park to be able to go in. Even as employees,
They
they're
wouldn't
very
even
strict.
fix it for you.
Yeah, even as employees, it is very
Well,
strict.
you had a ticket though, right? Like you had been
I
to a
had a
park
I
earlier that day.
Yeah, but it's not a hopper. So it's
I
like
guess you're also not a guest, you're an employee. They
exactly.
probably don't bend over backwards for you. They bend
No.
over backwards for my grandma.
Exactly. Like we're not paying to get in most times. So it's
Yeah.
like they're not going to bend over backwards for free access like just because you work for the company. Congrats. So do 220,000 other people. So,
Yeah. They do a lot for me.
oh
I don't
yeah.
know. But that's because I pay to be there.
Exactly. You pay to be there. It
Yeah.
changes everything. Just like how the Saudi Arabian government is paying for us to be at EWC.
Yeah. They paid to like artificially in people's minds ruin the Golden Road.
I mean,
Basically with the worst format ever.
you could say worst format ever at the end of the day. For me, this ruined the Golden Road.
Did it really?
Yeah. Because like
And a few
here's the thing,
others.
like even though like people are gonna argue like, oh, it's just it's not an official riot sanctioned event, all this. Like, I can't get out of my mind that Gen G got bitch slapped today. I don't care if they're low on sleep, so is every other team that's there. I don't care if it's a best of 3. Every other team had to do that, and MSI had a shit format for a long period of time where you could lose a single best of 5 and you were done for the tournament. And the best of ones, no, I'm not going to count them because only 2 teams got wiped out, and Korea and China are never getting wiped out from that. So no, I don't worry about that. I just worry about knockout, to which, yes, like I don't know. For me it's tainted. I don't think Gen G wins Worlds this year, but I think it's tainted. Even if they do.
My only problems with it counting, I guess, is it's not like it's technically what is it? It's like it's allowed by Riot, but it's not, you know, a Riot tournament, if we're being honest. And then two, and more importantly than anything, no team had any prep coming into this. There's no prep. It's best of threes. It's not even fives.
Okay.
Like that doesn't ruin it for you.
No.
No prep at all.
No.
Then yeah, you can't. I can't convince people who just don't care.
I
Like
like
if
it
people just don't care and they think it counts, then fine. I'm not gonna
because
waste my time
my
at
philosophy
telling
is
them.
also this: like, is or is not next year going to be 3 events?
Way different though. They'll have way more prep for those tourneys, and there
It's
won't be
sure, but
best
it's
of
still
threes.
you don't know if Riot's going to license out tournaments like this in the future either. We have no clue. We don't know what the offseason
Maybe.
might look like. And I'm a big fan of like I get if there was a major and minor system, fine. Like if we had enough international tournaments to be able to segment this out, then fine. We only have 3 each year, this included. No, I'm not willing to say you lose 33% of international events regardless of size or format. No, not willing to say that.
Well, it's a 3-day like fun tourney.
You
It's
say
not.
fun, dude. The winner gets $1 million. What the fuck is
Yeah,
fun
but it's
about that?
3 days. It's 3 days. Like it's not a real
I don't care.
tourney, dude.
Okay? You tell me I get to go for something for $1 million and tell me it's not
Money
real.
doesn't make Golden Road Golden Road. The Golden Road's not about money.
Money can bar you from getting in the gate.
No, because all that money won't buy anybody a world spot. FlyQuest could have won this tournament. They're not gonna buy their way in at the end of the year when they miss it.
They could count towards international standings though for next year.
It doesn't.
Right? Said it could.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. It doesn't count.
All right. Look, you're free to take it as you want. I still don't like after watching this. I think that Gen G's not going to win Worlds.
Well, people already think that because every year the meta's changed so much.
No, it's not.
But
It's not even the meta for me. It's just that I think China comes in with a chip on their shoulder, and I think Gen G peaked a little too early.
maybe
I think Gen
I
G.
mean China lost to T1.
I mean, yeah, but it's T for whatever reason. T1 is plot armor against China. Always has, always will.
Does this go on Faker's resume for his Hall of
Yeah,
Legends
yeah, of course it does.
if he wins this?
Does
Dang, you
IEM
really hold this high.
does IEM count for Bjergsen?
It should, but it doesn't.
Okay, well, I think it should. So therefore, I think it should count as well.
And IEM actually had a whole group stage.
Yeah, I think if IEM counts, this counts personally. Now I know a lot of people are
IEM's a
going to
lot
exclude
longer
those,
than
so like
this.
I get that,
Yeah.
but like, look, we only get 3 international tournaments. For me, this carries weight, regardless of whether people say that they're not going to watch it and don't care or not. Whatever, I care. That's it.
I just don't think it counts to ending their Golden Road. Or at least I think the Golden Road is still on.
If TL beats T1 tomorrow, I don't want to hear another word from any NA folk or any NA person ever. They better argue that this is the most legitimate tournament that they've ever seen in their fucking lives. And I better not see any dissent. I better not see anybody writing that shit off like, oh, it's not really that big of bullshit. It's the first time we would have ever beaten T1 in
Oh,
best
I'm
of
gonna
series.
write it off.
Fuck
I'll
you
write
if
it
you
off
will.
very gladly. Mine got written off. Not
I'm
counting other
not.
people's,
Oh,
then they
dude.
wouldn't help me count mine.
When I saw Ali tweet that, like, nobody counts IEM, I was like, oh, you just pissed off a group of fans that are waiting to attack somebody.
I mean, it's just why TSM fans never count anything else.
Yeah.
Like, whenever it was the same, whenever C9 fans would go, well, we have all these quarterfinals and all these worlds things that we really didn't get any accolades for, but we got far. We put a banner up for it. And TSM fans would be like, okay, you can't win a title, though. They were in like a long title drought, putting up banners for getting semis at Worlds.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't give people who won't give you any respect back. It's how it is.
I'm not denying that. I get it from your point of view. That's fine. But for me, it counts. Simple as that.
Oh, I mean, it'll count for a lot of people now. You gotta be pretty diehard to be watching LCS now. No? Like, I feel like you gotta be pretty diehard.
Maybe.
I think you'd have to be a real deep psycho to not think this is kind of neat if they win it. I mean, in general, the money they get is gonna go so hard.
Yeah.
But
It was
yeah,
interesting. I'll talk about portions of this publicly tonight. I went out to dinner on Tuesday, I think, with Daniel Kennedy and Gabe, who's like the content or director of brand, I think, at 100 Thieves. The Let me make sure I get their titles right. Gabe, yeah, Gabe Ruiz. He's the director of brand at 100 Thieves, and then Daniel, who is the director of marketing. We all went out to dinner on Tuesday night, and we covered a lot of topics, some of which I'm not going to talk about here, just because like that's stuff that I was personally pushing for. But it was interesting hearing like the opinions on the esports World Cup, and like I didn't know all the people that were like behind it from the esports world. And the TLDR is that it's basically everybody that got kicked out of esports more or less went to the Saudis and were like, look, trust me, the industry doesn't know shit. We can put together a good event. Let us do it. And they basically, and the Saudi government's like, yeah, here's unlimited funds. Go ahead and do it.
So wait, is this like being organized by Ocelot?
Not Ocelot, but like imagine like those types of people that were like driven out of the community, and like this is like their
Ooh,
event.
that kind of dampens it. No.
It put a little bit of a damper in my mind of like, are these people truly doing it with the best intention, or is this like a way to like to try and work their way back in, or like stick it to people a little bit? I mean, obviously there's some good people involved as well. I'm not saying that like there's
Yeah.
not, but like some of the names that were brought up, I'm thinking like, ugh. I remember,
Yeah. No.
I remember when they were in this originally. I remember what happened.
Yeah. I don't think that's good.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good at all.
Well,
Ooh.
here's my thing. Okay. I also saw the flip side of the coin, which was freaking Jacob Wolf tweets out the main broadcast having like 58K viewers for League of Legends. When like Faker's playing, it's like, look, this is better. This is barely better than games done quick. Like this is another fail. Like people invest all this money to
Oh
get
yeah.
no views and all this shit. It's like, dude, their match still got 700,000. Team Liquid got like 450,000 for an event that Riot didn't market. Nobody said shit, and it still got good views because it's
Yeah.
all co-streams. Like you're trying to pit the main broadcast when in reality you need to look at it in the same way that we look at uh,
Yep.
Valorant. And it's like that's a disingenuous argument, bro. Come on.
Very, because games done quick probably isn't getting much more than that 50,000.
Yeah, now granted, Games Done Quick's not also investing like hundreds of millions of dollars into
Yeah.
this, which is a little bit different, but
Yeah, and I'm sure some of those other games where this is actually a major are getting crazy numbers.
maybe. I don't know. I'm curious to see how many Call of Duty gets. Like that's going to be fascinating to me.
When is Call of Duty's?
Like week 7. So like
Oh
a
wow.
month and a half from now.
Jeez.
It's after COD Champs because COD Champs is next week, which is like the peak of COD. If you I'm dead serious when I say if you've never watched a COD event, please watch this one from start to finish. It's going to be a
Hmm.
blast. And it's
Yeah,
at
that's
Optics home arena.
you saying that kind of changes the idea of this, though.
Really?
Like it being a lot of the bad people. There's
Not
no way if
it's
it's
not bad people, it's just like people that made bad decisions. Not morally either, just like they came out and said that like they knew esports and they knew how this all worked and like
yeah. I just mean like people like Ocelot probably are involved in this. I
probably
already assumed he is. He probably is.
probably, but I mean
It'd be
I
surprising if he's not.
look, Riot gave him the blessing. Riot said, "Yeah, here you go.
No, yeah,
Take
it's
our
just
IP."
funny they deny him deny him to have a team or whatever unless they resign, but then
Give it to the
they see the
Saudis.
money really hit and they go, okay, well, it is what it is.
Yep. It's
But it's all fair enough, I guess.
it was I don't know. It was an interesting conversation to have and to listen to, and just talk about esports in depth and like thoughts on the industry, etc., stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean they're putting so much money in the scene. It's gonna be a gain
I
no matter what, because
it's
it's a
not
thing that did
sustainable.
need some money.
It's
I
not
mean, it doesn't have
sustainable.
to be sustainable. It can just be a short term.
Yeah, but like what I
Mm.
don't like I hope people in esports aren't relying on this shit cuz like it's not going to be here for more than like 3 or 4 years and then they'll stop
Yeah,
funding
that's
it.
true. More than likely, yeah. Unless they find a way to make it like somehow monetary gain.
Not for the amount of money that they're putting in. Also, like the opening ceremony did make me laugh. They put all
Was
that.
it bad?
It's not that it was bad. It was just like one of the conversation points that I always have is like, don't waste money on dumb shit. There's like, it's really cool when you have spectacles that are like bigger than life moments. Like I've been to like a
Mm.
Pac-Man drone show that they did to kick off Comic-Con last year, which was a blast. And like some stuff is like a marketing ploy, fine. But when you're already investing the amount of money that you're in, you're trying to make it like this big thing. When the opening ceremony is just like 5 or 6 people dancing with like a drone show and fire and fireworks, it was like I don't I don't know how much it's doing for you. I agree on like the spectacle of things, but like what about like a proper opening ceremonies with like the players all walking out? But like then again, it's spread over, a few weeks, but like I don't know.
Yeah. It also looks like a COVID crowd every time I watch the League of Legends stuff.
The stadium's
It's
never
like,
full.
no, no, not even close. It's so bad. It's bad. Good for them though. I mean, they dumped the money in too late now, but it's sus. It's definitely a suspect tournament. Like, I don't know. Obviously, to you, it means something because you're in the crowd of this has ended the golden road. But
It means something because we get nothing otherwise. Like that's
yeah,
the biggest point is like if you gave me more than what we get right now, which I get we're doing next year, which will bring up our next talking point that we're about to hit on. But like, I don't know, just give me more. Don't give me less. For example, don't give me less road shows. Like apparently it's going to happen everywhere next year.
I wonder how the Koreans and the Chinese feel about it the
They
most.
got to be pissed. They got to be
Because
absolutely pissed.
I have no way to know what they're thinking without googling it and reading some Twitter or Reddit person. I don't know if LS has talked about it,
I mean,
what they're
yeah, I know
thinking.
Monte Cristo did. Like him and Thorin went in for like a good 40 minutes on the topic, or it probably wasn't that long, but it felt like it. But it was like they're
Did
like
they actually like have people talk about it or just them
no, I
talking
mean
about it?
they both been there. Like
Oh,
they've been
okay.
there through the history, and they're like OGN had 3 splits before Riot took over, and had 3 stadium events each and every year, and they were profitable.
Mhm.
So why can't you do it now? What is so different that you can't do it now when you're still
Yeah.
selling out arenas? You sold it out whenever Genji and T1 were there. Why can't you sell it out now?
Yeah, it's bad.
It's
I mean, it's really bad. They can't. I don't know who's like making all these decisions. I assume it's John Needham, right? Like,
no.
isn't he the head?
So from the sounds of it, if what Monty's saying is true and what like Travis and others have reported is true, the new CEO that took over after Nikolai or whatever his name uh, was the former CFO. He's a finance guy. And he came in and
Oh,
basically said, everybody cut your budgets. So
okay.
esports had a target to hit, and they restructured and did everything so that they could hit the target.
Okay.
Which, if that's the case, the board needs to fucking look at it and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Because if the
Yeah.
board of directors is going to be the only people that can remove a CEO from their position. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not speaking on Disney at all, but like, whenever, Who was the CEO of Peloton that got removed by the board of directors?
I don't
Um,
know.
I forget his name.
God,
I don't know. He's a fucking dick. So is the
was
CFO.
he?
Oh, dude, dude, I've got horror stories from fucking Peloton, but but to the point where I received a check in the mail for a settlement case that every employee got a disbursement for.
Nice.
So, fuck Peloton. Uh, but if he's the one pushing down these budget cuts to the point where all this has to happen, and not understanding what the esports segment needs to do to grow, and he's just looking at numbers, this guy shouldn't be your CEO.
No, yeah, no. Especially if you can't notice, like, he's not really discerning between what grows community in it, sports at least, and what doesn't. I mean, I know people like Travis hates it when you compare esports to traditional sports, right? But that's really the only historical basis you can model
Yeah.
yourself after. And I mean, yes, the traditional sports spend tons and tons of years not really being a massive money making machine. Yes, like it wasn't for a long time, but the second they figured it out, they just stuck with it. And a lot of it was building those communities
Yep.
that you just don't build the way we're trying to do it
No.
currently. Now maybe you can build a fully just online following. I mean, it works on Twitch for like Twitch streamers, but I think it's a lot harder to pull off for that big of a production. Sports is just too big of a production to put all online, in my opinion, and the feel of it has to
Oh,
be
dude, the feel of it's
a
terrible.
lot more in person. Yeah.
What they've done to
I
like
mean,
the perception of finals in Europe and North America
yeah.
is tragic.
Especially Europe. I don't even watch Europe finals anymore.
No, neither do I. I
It's
like
not a
it,
spectacle.
it is wild how much like them removing the stadium finals has made
Yeah.
me stop giving a shit about the LEC. Because like I
Now,
used to,
granted, they still grow.
dude, I used to tune in every single LEC finals. Every time. I would
Yep.
not miss an LEC finals weekend because dude, their crowds are the best. They're
Yeah.
amazing. They tune out. They're loud. They're like cheering at everything. Like they're ever I think American crowds can turn out for international events, but like we don't have the rowdiness that they have at their finals. Bro, to lose that, oh, it feels so bad. And they're getting fucked for Worlds this year too. So it's like, what are you
They're
doing?
it's tough too because everybody just keeps saying, well, EU's growing the more they've shrunk, right? Like their in-person audience, but it's not their doing.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. Like, and a lot of people are missing EU's growing, but they can't get people to watch their mainstream.
No.
And if you're trying to go full online to make money, I don't get how having everybody watch different streams is going to be the answer. I don't know how it's going to work.
It's
Now,
not.
maybe they know they have a secret sauce that they're cooking up, but I don't. I just feel like for them, Cadril being almost at this point bigger than their mainstream can't be good for them
No.
production wise.
No, not at
It
all.
can't be good. And then like the fact that KC basically like has its own just massive pull of people, and when they're not in it, it's like it's actually a noticeable difference.
Yep.
Pretty big deal.
I'm just happy the K Corp made playoffs. I can't wait
True.
to see what a best of five for them does.
And I mean, dude, their teams are building their own stadiums. Like that's how you know they're getting it wrong.
If
Their
I'm
biggest team built their own stadium.
Oh, dude, if I'm a buy, I'm offering every time, like, assuming they go to like a best of three schedule next year, I'm offering to fly out whatever team we're playing, like, they're playing against, to play in that stadium each and every time the K Corp plays.
What do you mean by? Oh, you mean
Or not a buy,
Komedo?
Komedo, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
my
misspoke.
bad. I was confused. I was like, is it buying one? Because I mean, he
No, but
could,
like
and he should do the same thing.
dude,
Matt
they
and them should do that.
if you're not gonna have road shows for finals,
Hmm.
you just like Komedo should be offering, hey, if you even think about doing it in that stupid 300 person arena for finals, I'm gonna slap you. Come to my arena every time. I don't care if K
Yeah,
Corp's in it. Come to my arena every time.
really, they're silly for not letting K-Core host some of their games, like half their games.
Yeah.
If they're doing best of threes, they should be allowed to host half of them
Oh,
in their arena.
100%. As long as they're willing to cover like the travel and lodging to like get people out there too, and like split the cost. Well, I mean, what Riot should do is they should offer a flat rate and be like, hey, we will cover the cost up to a certain amount based on what we do for like a normal day,
Yeah,
etc. And then you have to cover everything else. And if you're willing to cover everything else, then fine. And based on the numbers that we saw from K Court's financials, I think they'd be willing to cover everything else
yeah,
because
they
they know
would.
how to actually monetize their in-person fan base and make money off of them, unlike G2.
Yep. Yep.
G2 was what, 1% merchandising revenue? K Corp is
Yeah.
40%?
Yeah, which is terrifying that G2's making that little off of merchandising as that big of an org. Like, maybe that means they're doing just everything else right. But I feel like merchandising is the one thing that you have to fall back on.
So I think, where did I hear this? Because I was also told it at dinner, but I know somebody else said it publicly that was it on Travis's? Was it on Hotline League or maybe I don't know, maybe it was somewhere else. I heard somebody say and was reaffirmed that like if an esports team other than K Corp right now were to pay a bunch of money and win the LCS, they would not actually gain any fans from winning. The the
LCS.
the in
Yeah.
esports in general, the mystique around paying for a good team and that will lead you to profitability is no longer the case, is no longer true.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm curious to know, how does that change your percent? Because I know for the longest time you were of the impression of like you just got to win. But if winning makes no difference,
Winning solves all problems.
yeah, but if winning does not solve that problem now, if the numbers have shown themselves that it doesn't work, if that doesn't lead you to that golden road of profitability, now what?
You're not winning right. But I would say if you're winning and it's not solving all your problems, then you, as kindly as I can say this, have some people you need to fire. Like if you are leading a league, like in anything, and it's not dead, like let's be honest, winning LCS isn't gonna do you any good because LCS is not in the greatest of places. We're getting there. We're going up again, but it's not in the greatest of places. You could win the league and 10% of people decide to join your fandom, and that's 13,000 people. And that's like 13,000 people, and probably 10% of that might buy a t shirt.
And
So
10% of
even
them will
less.
also leave the second you stop performing well.
Yep. So there's that. For EU, it's maybe a little higher, but it's not really because a lot of them are co-stream watchers, and I don't know how co-stream watchers change fandoms. So that could be what's killing it for sure. That's killing winning, not solving all your problems. Because I guess for who is it? SK, right? Is it no? Is it SK who has Adam?
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting second
Or
place a
BDS.
lot,
BDS.
or BDS, yeah. And I don't know if it was doing anything for them getting second place, like, which is basically winning in sports, if we're being honest. Second place
Yeah.
is very far. Like, you
That's
should be
good
building
enough.
fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, it changes in esports. The winning solves all problems simply because uh, what is it? It's it's kind of a wintry time,
Yep.
so it's not really as easy. And the casual viewer is a lot different in esports. It's strange to me. It's very tough for me to adapt to the minds of esports people, I think, or the average one,
Yeah.
because they're very like anti chance, trash talking, like the normal things that make sports fun. And they're also not really trying to watch the best games. Sometimes they're really just like hoping everyone's happy,
I'll
which is probably a good thing, but I
I'll be
just
honest.
can't adapt to.
I think we lost the sports crowd over the last 5 years.
100%.
Because that, like, we talk a lot about like appealing to like the people that play the game and appealing to like some like these wider or these like narrow audiences to make sure that we're capturing people that we've lost, etc. I think the reason why we're not gaining them back in mass is because the people who are familiar with sports and want that environment don't get it. Not that they don't like
Yeah.
get or like understand. They actually like they tangibly do
No,
not
yeah, they
get that
don't.
feeling. Because like
Yeah.
it was weird for me today whenever like we're up. I mean, granted it's the Esports World Cup, so it's slightly different. But like I'm talking mad shit and nobody's clapping back. And I'm just sitting there
Yeah.
like, what is happening right now? Like, why is nobody? And the comment afterwards, like, oh, next time, the one comment that I got in response was like, next time, just don't say anything beforehand. Like, just watch yourself so that like you don't put your foot in your mouth. It's like that's the whole fucking point.
Yep.
That's that's sports fandom and why we do it. Like, how do you not get that? And then it clicked to me that like it wasn't just like the TSM fans leaving and like some CLG diehards leaving, but it's like we lost the people that have an understanding of what sports actually is. And what is left is people trying to make esports a gaming thing when in reality it should be a sport thing. And I'm not saying we should make it
Yeah.
like it doesn't have to be sports buttoned up perfection. I agree that was a flaw in and of itself. But we've swung the needle too far back to be like, oh, we just need to appeal to everybody in general gaming. It's like, no, you need to appeal to the fucking like fanatics that want to have a in-person event and be able to show their support and have loyalty to something, but they can't find loyalty because gaming's very fickle and fluid and moves between different things.
Yeah.
So you're trying to capture an audience that doesn't like that will move on to the next game like it's nothing, in the same way that they'll move on to the next team like it's nothing.
Yeah, the fact it's not heartbreaking, like
Yeah.
it really clicked for me that this is a different breed of area when people were like, when you said, "Oh, if TSM came back and bought Immortals, Paul would probably go back," and people were like, "No, he wouldn't. That's silly. Why would he do that?" And it's like, cause it's bro, it's your team.
Yeah.
Like that's the squad. Like, I mean, like I've seen my the Colts owner's Jim Irsay. Andy can do anything he wants to anybody. It will never be worse than Jim Irsay. I've watched Jim Irsay take a player into a bus when JT was supposed to get a contract extension and get paid, and that man did get paid eventually because Ballard told Irsay, "You can't do this, you moron. You're gonna cost us the best running back in the league." And well, Christian McCaffrey exists, but you get it.
Yeah.
And he pulled him in a bus and said, "Listen, brother, football's bigger than both of us. When we die, football will keep going on." That's what he told our running back because he wanted to get paid. Like it's like, bro, that's complete psycho territory. He's a
Yep.
moron. The guy did coke in people's bathrooms during head coaching interviews. Like he's an idiot. And I still sit there every Sunday and watch that team and act like I don't remember who Jim Irsay is because I'm here.
Yep.
Like that's what you do, and it's just like I mean, it's another thing too. Of it reminds me when KC, when people were saying, "Oh, KC's like too nationalistic and all this stuff," and they always say like the bad sides of it, right? Like because they're nationalistic, they can hate on teams quick. They can be ruthless. They can be annoying. Some of them like way too quickly form opinions before they think about it, and it's like, yeah, but that's kind of the point of sports is that like you get those crazy thing sides of you out in a more safer environment.
Yeah.
And they're diehard. They chant. Yes, is chanting annoying to people? I guess, but chanting is a part of sports, bruh.
Bro, I can't believe chanting became like people actually got annoyed at the chants. That's
Yeah,
wild to me. That's so wild.
like they definitely have people who go too far, but we're getting to the point where you have to like apologize or bounce around the too far people so much you can't actually just do things in esports anymore. You can't really like be a fan of something. You can't be a diehard.
Or like it's not embraced at least. Like cuz you can do
Yeah,
those things, but like there's not enough like-minded people to make it
yeah.
feel like there's not a lot of people with the persistence to stick it out. Because like you said, if something like that happens, like in a normal situation, people will be like, "Okay, you're fucking dumb," and they just hold out until they get more people around them to like that think the same way.
Mhm.
But in this situation, it's like we've drove out all the sports people, and all of them are gone because they for whatever reason people don't see it. And it's just like I don't know.
No, yeah. I mean, I it's pretty obvious the crowd that's stuck around is what you said earlier is the group of people who have decided that this is a game and it should be treated as a gaming community and this should just be an addition to the gaming side of League of Legends. And it should have its competitive moments maybe, but let's just go have fun. There's no like heartbreak when your team loses. Where's the shame anymore? Like when you have a bad team, you should feel shame. Like Cloud should feel shame. He should for sure. And nobody does that anymore. They just act like it's okay. There he goes. But it's like my life changed when NRG finally won a series. I thought it was over. I genuinely thought it was all over. And they finally did something and won. And it's all good. I'm just existing.
That's the problem, Cloud. You are just existing. You're not fighting back. You're
Well, you're
not
existing as a Shopify fan.
you're not fighting back. You should be calling for people's heads in every interview. Every time you get on with a
No.
Shopify player, be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
No, no, no. No, he cannot, bro. He can't say that. Could you imagine,
No,
bro?
I couldn't. I couldn't at all. Flat Cloud, please don't ever do that. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
but, but the thing is, there should be somebody, though, even though this is bad, because I guess you're calling for people to lose jobs, but it's
No, fuck that.
sports.
It's a
Like,
sport. You should be.
yeah, it's sports.
I called for Nuke Duck's job and Costa's
True, you
job.
did.
I openly, as somebody that like had interviews with them, like I wouldn't say it to their face, but like in my content series, I would just
Yeah,
blanketly say, "We need a new coach. It's time." And I felt no, like
yeah,
at first when I said it, like I wasn't sure in editing if I was going to keep it in. I was like, fuck that. Stephen A. Smith and all of them, like whenever they're like going in on somebody and they call for somebody to be fired, like it's part of sports commentary. And the person can either shut up and prove them wrong, or I can sit here and say they should be fired.
yeah. And it's not like a development thing, too. It's like, yeah, you are calling for Nuke Duck to be fired because he's been a coach forever, bruh. Like, he hasn't been a coach for a week. It's like one of those things where you call for people who have been around for a while. Like, I know Cloud can't say this, but there should be a Shopify fan who can, who doesn't interview them and gives the insight as much as Cloud does. 'Cause Cloud is like an insight guy. You need that one random dude with like 20 followers who goes, Fake God has had every chance in the world and will never do it. We need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And then that guy gets like tons of likes, but likes are private, so nobody has to put their name out there, and
Cloud
they
or
can like it.
and Cloud can just throw out the subtle like retweet for like a minute, but then delete the
Yeah,
retweet to like get it
delete
within the
it.
circles. That way, like people are like, "Oh, where did I see this from? I don't know, but I saw it nevertheless." And
Yeah,
then Cloud can't be tied to it. And
yeah.
then it's like, oh, and then Cloud just happened. Well, this thread went viral in his next interview with, whoever it is. Like, what's your thoughts on like the opinions about, this on this and that? Is like, yeah, Cloud needs a burner account. 100%.
I mean,
100%.
he'd literally double the Shopify Rebellion fan base.
Oh man. That's too much. Cloud, I would say like, you know, it's unfair to you. But at the same time, you guys have no
Funny.
wins. You have nothing right now. I'm not saying I have all that much more, okay? Because I don't. But we at least have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
we have a one in the win column. Both
What?
you and me have one in the win column.
Yeah, what?
And at the end of the day, the best part about all this, there's three of us. Only two of us can get kicked from the league, and it's probably gonna be me. So I'm taking my licks where I
Yeah,
can get them.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man,
I've already accepted. Like, I'm pretty sure NRG's not gonna stay at this point, just
really?
because. No, I've just accepted it because I've accepted that all my teams are done at this point. Like, I hope
Oh
not
god.
for us. Could you imagine if both our teams
Oh
left?
dude, it'd be so bad.
It'd
It'd
be
be
so
so
bad.
bad.
Oh
Oh
man.
man.
Yeah, I know you guys play us when we come back, Cloud. That's when we start our win streak. We'll get 2 wins on the season.
Dude, you guys look good in that one best or in your best of three to close it
Yeah,
out. So
against against Immortals, we beat the only other team that has, instead of 2, they have 6 fans. Like, that's about it.
and the only reason they have one
Is
win is because they got blessed with Shopify.
yup.
Oh god.
If we lost to Shopify, like, I don't even know what I'd do. Like, it would be so over. I'd actually be calling for
I'm
heads.
being honest, you're not losing to Shopify. I don't care
I
how
don't think they
uncoordinated
can.
you guys are. Fucking like I have
I don't
not
think they can.
I have not seen anything uh that indicates that that'd be the case. Even 100 Thieves, like we simply are just gonna like we could have the worst macro in the world. Quid could still just use his nose to press the keys, and it will still be better than whatever the fuck Shopify's been putting on the Rift. So
Yeah.
like I'm not worried. Like
Yeah.
we can hands check Shopify like it's nothing, and I'm not worried. If
Surdy's still available.
if we're putting up fights against Team Liquid, grant we're losing the games, but like that's because Team Liquid actually knows macro. We play
Yeah.
against Shopify Immortals where like we don't have to worry about that as much, and we can just simply beat them to a pulp with our hands. We're
Mm.
fine. I'm fine with that. Like I've accepted our role as like the young guns that have no brains, that have no ability to think through a situation. But we
Yep.
can like you put us in a skirmish, we might like even at a 5K deficit, we might be able to beat you. And that's
Which is
funny.
actually doomed. It's doomed, by the way.
Oh, I know, it's so doomed. Like we're it's so doomed. And I don't want to see us go to Worlds and get clobbered like that, but at the same time I kind of do. Because even though we wouldn't be able to pull it all together, Sniper would get a solo kill on the fucking bin and it would be great.
No, I mean it's doomed for NA, I think, because Yan like actually just might be too good, bro.
Oh,
Like,
dude, Team Liquid right now is disgusting.
they were messing around against Fnatic. Like, legitimately messing around and just cooking them.
Yep.
And that really is one of EU's better teams. Like, that's not even a joke. That's one of their better teams.
Bro, the transformation of APA is actually insane. And this is what
Yeah,
this is
it
my
is.
favorite part about all
No,
this
it
because
actually is.
we've been hearing for so long that APA is not that good, that we don't really have the talent underneath, like in academy, etc., stuff like that. Bro, APA wasn't even like the mid laner that people wanted promoted in to the LCS because they thought there were better players than him in NACL that deserved a slot. He was just on TL at the time. And the fact that he has this quickly evolved to being like the clear-cut best mid laner in the league, possibly one of the better ones in the entire West right now, because he put Humanoid in a fucking body bag.
Yeah, it did.
Like, at what point do we sit here and say, okay, no, we actually do have people in the secondary scenes that just simply are not getting the right time, the right resources, and the right faith? Because granted, TL is an anomaly. TL is sticking it out with them for a while and obviously has great players all around and built like an incredible roster. But
Mhm.
I don't know.
No,
It's just
they've
funny to
done it
me.
right. It's wild. I mean, them and I mean, C9 is young for most accounts, I'd say. Like they could actually go hard this year and push each other really hard and do something good at Worlds,
Well, okay,
which
before we
I
even get
know
to
is like
Worlds,
early to cope.
honest question, do you think they can beat T1 tomorrow?
I'm gonna say this is probably one of the higher percents I've ever thought a team could. I'm gonna give them like a 35-40% chance.
Okay, because I've been like ever since like we had that game one against Fnatic, I was sitting there like this just feels different. I don't know. T1 didn't look the cleanest in their opening series, and I'm sure like obviously you expect the Asian teams to get better as the tournament goes on and they get accustomed to things, but like bro, I'm seeing enough from TL that like obviously I'm the guy that has faith in general, but this actually legitimately for the first time feels like we could take a game or two off of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. I think I would be shocked if we didn't take one game off of T1 tomorrow. If we get 2-0, I think I'd be more
Yeah.
surprised than any other result. And yes, finals is a best of 5. But how wild is it to think that we are in a clear world where we could get a 2019 MSI rematch?
Yeah,
G2
it
has
is pretty
already
crazy,
beat
bro.
Top. They have already beat them in a best of 5.
Yeah, that's true.
G2
I'm
can
thinking it through
100
now. I'm
G2
thinking
can
it through.
100% beat Top. That is like here's my thing. I think if TL gets stomped by T1, it will deflate a little bit of G2. But if TL somehow upsets T1, every single player in G2 is going to have a fire lit under their ass so heavily because they know that basically that top esports series for them is like their like it's not the final obviously, but like this is the final raid boss to where you go into a match entirely 50-50 against TL.
Yeah, to get a milli
Yeah.
for a milli. Like that's a lot of money, bro. Split it 5 ways, that's still a lot of money. Split it with your coaches, that's a lot of money. That's a car and a good housing payment, bro. That's a solid housing payment.
Uh,
Granted, I don't even know if esports players care about a housing payment, but
no, I doubt it. But either way, like
mm,
I'm just I'm really who's the first series tomorrow? I didn't even check the schedule. What's it like?
it's us at 11.
Us at 11, okay, us at 11
Yeah.
and then G2
Them
after.
at 8 time.
Yeah. Bro, I don't know. I get this feeling that we can do it.
It just feels right that during the early months of July, or the parts of July, that America would do something good.
Especially in a
If we,
country that owns a bunch of oil.
yeah, in a country that if we wanted to, I won't finish that. We all know. If we wanted to, we could. and, and it just feels right, to let them know, hey, this is the best display of gaming you'll ever see. And it's coming from the hands of American-led imports, what we do best. No.
It comes
This is
it comes from the back of a man who wrestled in high school in Ohio. Doesn't get
Yeah.
any better than that.
And what Spawn's? Because Spawn isn't he Australian?
Yeah.
That's the best. Opti Impact Core Spawn, the 2 Americans, baby. Well, let's go show them how it's done for America.
Immigrants, we get the job done.
Yeah.
It's
That's
true.
the American way right
It
there.
really is the American way.
Yup.
Oh god.
Oh man.
I'm sorry, I derailed your conversation about like us being more competitive internationally for that, but I feel like that's part of it.
No, I mean it is. That is what I mean that's why I was saying it. Is because I feel like TL actually looks kind of well put together. My guess is, yeah, do they probably not win a game? Sure. Like that's what always happens. But I actually feel pretty decent about this one. I don't know why. I just do. Con,
Yeah, go back to the
no, we
beginning.
don't
Go back
agree.
go
We
back to the
don't
beginning.
agree.
Paul
We don't
entirely
agree
agrees
at
with me.
all.
He entirely agrees with me.
Yeah, okay. But I think like it's one of those things where it seems like we actually are getting pretty good at the game because we have guys who are grinders now,
Yeah.
which we've had grinders before. Like some of those TSM whatever teams and the C9 teams I think grinded pretty hard. Whatever team Doublelift wasn't on. I honestly, this is going to sound like mad hate and it kind of is. But DL quitting helped us a lot. He was so good that he could win here, right? Like he could win domestically and he just kept winning, but he had a clear case of the yips on the international stage.
Yep.
And him letting other people get a shot, I think, is going to be good for NA International.
Entirely agree.
Because he was breaking people's confidence here, right? Like just crushing it. But then going over there and getting curb stomped all the time, other than the one time they made finals,
Yeah.
but
But even
that
then
was
it
like
was like they were
one random
they had
run.
like a four
Yeah.
and six record in groups. They
Yeah.
it was
For
the
him at least, I think you could call it a fluke. No.
yeah, no, it 100% was. Like in hindsight it
Yeah.
was because like what else did he
Yeah.
do? He never got out of a single group stage once.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things where you gotta be like, oh, what the why we didn't sign Double If video? Oh, I've never seen that though. But I think it's like one of those things of just him leaving has opened up all these younger guys now to finally come through, like Jan and stuff like that. And it's pretty good for the league, especially also like Bjerg leaving eventually. Now, of course, we still have, the Jensens, the Insanities, but you gotta have people at the bottom who sit there, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
or
Jensen's honestly
Jensen's,
performing well enough that like
yeah, Jensen's still playing good, so I can't even hate on him. But there was clearly a spot where Bjerg and Doublelift just didn't have it internationally, but they were so good domestically that I think it kind of hurt us
yeah. No, I agree.
almost.
I
But I know that's confusing because it's kind of one of those things of like, well, how can somebody winning here hurt you? But it's just one of those things when your person chokes a lot, it does hurt the overall league.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just how it is. Sag.
I just want to see the 100 Thieves or the 100 Thieves Young Guns like level up their play to get to that point as well. I would really
Yeah,
like to
I
see
mean,
that.
don't we all? I'd love to see my NRG Young Guns level up their play to win it all.
You guys had your one time in the limelight. You had your one series that you were able to win.
Yeah,
Congrats.
yeah. It's fine. I just assume they'll spend more money to win next year. Or they'll win this year. I mean, they could. They looked good against Immortals, and if that tells you anything, it means they can beat a bottom 2 team.
Thinkard
About
is
it.
another one of those coaches that I personally have liked. I'm not sure what's
I think he's really good.
I don't know what's going different this time around. Like I don't know if it's just like team issues that
Uh,
they're not able to solve, but
I think in general, like, it was good for them, right, that they won, but I don't think that team was actually that roster wasn't perfect, for sure.
yeah,
And they definitely have some obvious problems. They somehow randomly won a title, but they were 5th place that split.
yeah,
Like, everybody forgets, like, they've usually been bad every single split, and then they randomly overperformed with, yeah, massive coaching staff, but also, like, it just happened. I mean, it was one of those special things. And I think, honestly, like, I think we'll go for Surdy next offseason, unless Dokla really, like, powers up, which, I mean, he could.
yeah,
Like, who knows? You can find your footing when you play Fake God in Castle. Like, you can find some confidence that you didn't have, you know?
yeah.
But,
I mean, and to be fair, this is it's not like NRG's thing is endemic to just them. Like we see this in other esports. Look at Optic after they won Major 3. So for those that don't know, there's a 4 major cycle and then you go into champs for Call of Duty. Optic went 3rd place in Major 1, 2nd place in Major 2. They won Major 3. Do you know what they finished at the last one?
mm,
Defending champions. 3rd, 2nd, 1st. They finished dead last in Major 4. Dead last. And now
that's bad.
they're bringing in a guy to try and like help clean up their search and destroy because like after you win, changes mentalities. It like stuff happens.
Yeah,
So all I'm saying is like that stuff happens, and I'm curious to see what Optic does at Champs next week. See if they're able to turn it around at all. But like the consistency factor wasn't there for them. They just got hot at the right time. It's on the goat or something to pull them for, and
yep,
then it fell apart afterwards. Same thing for NRG. They got
yep,
hot at the right time. It clicked, and now afterwards, it 2 straight splits of it so far, like not coming together. But
yeah.
we'll see.
And Andy talked a lot about how they did want to make some changes to that roster still because they went so deep at Worlds they had no time.
Yeah,
Like he did talk about that, and I always found that interesting because after they won it all, he even realized as a roster builder, he was like, yeah, I think we could upgrade, but then when it became impossible for the GM to do it, it was like one of those, never mind, we can't.
I
Because
forgot that
it's
we talked
croissant,
about
right?
Andy about, or we talked to Andy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Croissant that's now like head of
Yeah,
gaming.
and Croissant had an interview about it as well,
Yeah,
where he said that, and I listened to that too. And but once I heard Andy say and him, I was like, yeah, they really wanted to do something, and they just realized they didn't have the time.
yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see what this off season also looks like because of the restructuring of everything. Like if people
Yeah,
are, like I don't see Team Liquid making any changes unless like Umti wants to leave or Impact retires or Core retires. That's the only thing that you can think about because they are like the oldest team in LoL Esports. They're the oldest team at EWC, and
are they?
yeah, they're like average age of 26, and then FlyQuest is the youngest with like the average age of like 21.
Oh gosh, is
So it's
Buppo that young?
no, it's that Inspired's that young. Inspired's only like 21.
Dude, it's fine.
Busio's
It's way
incredibly young.
younger.
Masu is, but Masu's what 18, 19. Busio's
Hmm.
18, 19. Their new mid laner is a young Korean player. He's like 21 or 20.
Oh, okay, he's 21ish. I was gonna say that guy was a
Quad is like eight.
uh,
Yeah, concept quad is like 18.
no, he's not.
Hang
He's
on.
played in LCK a couple times.
Okay.
He's like an LCK reject.
I think he might be thinking of Thanatos. I
I mean,
uh
he could be. I'm wrong. I'm just surprised.
Hang on, I'm looking this up now. Okay, so I got every player. Blippo is 25. Inspired is 22. Quad is 21. Masu is 19. Busio, 20.
How old was Squad? 19?
Quad was 21.
21, okay.
So the average age drops down to 21.
Wow. That is a really young team, though.
Yeah, still very. I mean, when you think about it, like Team Liquid is where they are now, and it's like you figure 5 years if they could just figure out their issues and stick together, like you could in theory be good in 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it sucks for TL fans, kinda, not really, I guess, because they clearly like won't be too long of a dynasty, considering Core, I think, has to be getting close to retirement,
Oh, and
bro.
I think like you look at the one piece that has been a little bit weaker at times, and it has been Core. So like
Yeah,
him and Impact, like Impact, I think will be around for like a long period of time. I don't put it this way. I don't think TL ever gets rid of Impact unless he has like a massive fall off. Like they'll keep
yeah,
him,
he'd have to want to leave.
yeah. And then Core is like same thing where it's like at some point you like Steve might look at it. It also depends on the pool of players available
Mhm.
because they have both their import slots or no they still have one open, don't they? Impact's a resident. Uh,
Yeah,
Core's a resident.
yeah,
APA and Yon are both they still have an import slot.
yeah.
But the
Well,
thing is, like, you
it
also
wouldn't be
you
them getting rid of him. It'd be them
no he'd go
tiring.
to coaching.
Yeah,
Like the thing is like
yeah,
the thing I want people to understand is like Core JJ like retiring from the team does not mean that he's gone. He is 100% part of Team Liquid after he's done there, and he
yeah,
starts working his way up the coaching staff and everything else. Uh,
yeah.
do they need him in game? I don't know. I don't listen to the voice comms. I don't know how much he shot calls. And maybe you can find a shot calling support that also has hands to replace him with an import slot or with
There will be another Core JJ at some point.
yeah, there will be.
They'll find him. If
Yep.
there's a team that'll find him, it'll probably be TL at this point. I mean, I get Core. It's gonna be hard to replace him.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be hard, but they'll find one. There's so many Koreans, bro.
There are. But if you
I
believe
mean,
Genji Arnold, then there's not as many coming up in the rookie classes.
true, true, true. I mean, cause I mean, you had what? You had Umti. He was like a LCK lifer who couldn't crack the code. Bro comes here and he's just chilling,
Yep.
dumping on NA people.
But anything else you want to cover before we wrap this one up? I'm gonna end stream. Are you gonna play games at all by chance or no?
No, I'll probably go to bed.
All right.
I'm pretty tired.
Anything else that I'm missing topic wise? Because otherwise, I will be. Are you like off and doing anything tomorrow or?
I'll be here. I can probably hop on for the games.
Okay, because I'll probably be live streaming during most of it, just playing games, but then
Okay.
watching it in tandem.
Yeah,
So,
I'll probably watch for it.
all right. I want to talk to you off stream
Uh,
about one thing, but
okay.
yeah,
I'll probably stay here for a little. I just know I couldn't play a game of League right
yeah,
now.
it's fine. I gotta let the dogs out here shortly, anyways. But
Trying to think. Anything we could have missed in League of Legends? Probably not anything.
no, I mean, low budget LCS signups are due. I think they were due today.
We're submitted.
Were submitted. Perfect. I had 3 people come into chat in videos saying, "Hey, I saw your video this week and got on a team."
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
I know at least 3 people that are trying out the league this season because of that video, which is
Huh.
great, fucking great.
LBLCS
on the rise.
back to
Also,
back regular season champs.
I saw Healy commenting on it here. I actually have two friends from New York that wanted to talk to me about it in spring, but I couldn't get it to work out. But I'm going to talk to them now. They're likely going to cast all of our games. I'm still going to stream like our perspective and
Oh
comms
wow.
because I want to have that. But he asked if he could stream all of our games for us and like provide like a hub for people to like go watch for commentary, and then I might kind of like put together a little video like and put it out each week. That kind of like mixes between the two.
What is this spam? It's not actual spam. It's a copy pasta from
Uh,
Blabberfish.
Place for us
That's
to
so
watch State
good.
Flame. Yeah, yeah. I'll go look at. It's a video on the. I think the title of the video is "The Best Way to Play League of Legends." I think it was the name or the name I came up with for the video, which I felt was oddly uh, appropriate. But
Don't forget, people. This is probably our best shot of winning. Not really. We'll ever have, because could be one of our last efforts with this roster iteration.
what? Yeah.
Yeah. This could be one of our last ones with this roster iteration.
Could. I mean, I'll always still be on the team. I will always
Which
keep
isn't
playing.
really a very long roster iteration. Cause
No, it's one split.
yeah.
But
I GM'd all I could GM.
Paul did everything he possibly could, but will it be enough?
And we still lost.
I don't know. I do not know. All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it for us. We'll catch y'all later. Be sure to follow Paul on Twitter at 23 Tar Heels 50. I am at D Shynock, and we'll be live tomorrow for the Team Liquid series. See y'all then. Adios.